we doing, everybody? And welcome to Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage. It is May 9th, a big old Thursday here in the great state of Wisconsin. Yesterday, weather, you couldn't beat the weather yesterday. Nice, toasty, warm. Today, it depends who you ask. I've been seeing a little bit of potential for rain today. So, so far this week, we've had rain, nice day, rain. Yeah, we're getting a consistent path right now, right? We're getting consistency. That's what matters, right? I'm done with the rain, though. I've had enough rain. We've had enough rain for a while now. So, outside of that, looking at sports-wise right now, the NBA playoff, had to disconnect the Bluetooth there. NBA playoff is taking off right now. We have tons of action there. Lots of controversy going on. Brewers in action in all of baseball right now. As I found out yesterday, I didn't know it was a thing. If you turn on the MLB network, they have a MLB big inning, they call it. It's like NFL Red Zone. They'll have like 4 games on your TV at once, and they'll flip to other games, and they'll flip between them all. Whatever game is most interesting at that moment, if one goes to commercial, they'll flip to the other one. They'll take it off the screen, whatever it is. It was quite, fascinating almost. I didn't know. It's probably been around for a little bit. I'm not sure. This was just the first I've seen of it, and it was I could see it actually being a thing that works out down the road for the MLB network and for baseball in general, just to have that ability that you can check out basically every game that's in action all at one time, get the key moments, the highlights, everything like that. I thought it was fantastic. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. I don't know if it's every night. I know I watched it last night there when I was sitting on the couch. I just saw what the heck is MLB big inning. I was like, this is like that the game on you can get on your phone. I was like, what was this? So I checked it out, and that's what it was. So interesting stuff there. Interesting stuff. But right away, I want to look at the Brewers. They had the rubber match with the Royals yesterday. Want to talk about that game a little bit. Look at the Brewers. Statistically right now, where they stand team-wise, comparing them up against other teams around the league. And then we'll see where the day takes us, right? We'll see where the day takes us today. So with that, right away, I want to get into, like I said, the Brewers here. I want to talk about that rubber match game. The Brewers did lose it 6-4 in that ball game there. Right off the bat, Brewers jumped out early in this one. We saw it. We talked about it. We talked about it yesterday. We've talked about it a little bit before that. Bryce Terang. Talked about him as a guy who could flourish in the leadoff role simply because of his bat-on-ball skill, his eye at the plate, his ability to get on and steal bases and everything else. And Bryce Terang in this game did not disappoint in the leadoff spot. 3 for 4, 1 run scored, 1 RBI late in this one, a walk to go along with it. He was rolling, had that average up to 316 after that game. So good stuff out of Bryce Terang. We talked about it. We talked about this guy potentially getting that shot at the leadoff spot. And he, did very well in his first appearance there in the leadoff spot. So maybe that's the thing that stays. I hope so. I really do. Until he shows signs of slowing down majorly, right? You can have a couple of rough games here and there. But until he shows those signs where, he's going downhill and it's a downhill spiral, keep the guy in there. Keep the guy in there and let him eat. So good stuff there out of Bryce Terang. Contreras, he helped get it going early. 1 for 4, 2 RBIs in this game here. He had that RBI early in this one and then an RBI late in this game here in the 9th. The Brewers were on the rally, right? They're on a rally. Yelich did return. Christian Yelich returns to the lineup in this game. 0 for 5, 1 strikeout in this one. First game back in a month. Relatively almost, if it's not a month, it was close to a month. He was either going to go 5 for 5 or 0 for 5, right? Either it was going to be a great day, first day back, or it was going to be a little bit of a struggle. A little bit of a struggle in this one, timing, putting good swings on the baseball. It's hopefully going to come along as he gets back into the swing of things. Hopefully we see what we saw in the first, little portion that he played in this season, but It's always in the back of your mind. It's always in the back of your mind saying to yourself, has the back been the issue this whole time, right? Between the MVP years to now, that middle ground there. Was the back the issue there with him, and was he just playing through it? And will it affect him moving forward here this year? That's going to be something to keep an eye on. That is something to keep an eye on for Brewer fans, for the Brewers management, and everything like that. I honestly, when I hear people and I see comments and they're like, well, put him at the DH role because his back won't get as upset. It won't get as upset in the DH role as it will, doing both, right? And I mean, half of that is true. Half of that is true. If you put him in the outfield, there is the potential that with standing and everything like that for prolonged amounts of time, that could affect his back. I'm not saying that anybody is wrong in that aspect. But if you think putting this guy in the DH role is going to fix the back, you got issues yourself. Because you put him into the box. Have you ever watched a baseball player swing a baseball bat? Have you ever watched it? Have you ever done it yourself? The amount of torque that goes on in your back, the back turn. You're turning your back, you're loading, you're turning. It's all connected in some way, shape, or form throughout your body. It all goes back to that spine, right? The spine is what connects it all, right? So any kind of movement there is going to disrupt that back. It's like when you talk about a golfer's swing. Like when you talk about golfers, that is one of the most violent hacks you'll ever see. The torque that they put on their body. Same with baseball players. Same with pitchers, right? The amount of torque that they put on their body to deliver a pitch. Now you look at hitters. The amount of torque that they're putting on their body and exploding through with. Any kind of misstep with the legs or anything like that puts the back in a vulnerable position. So now you do that at the plate. It's all going to lead to trouble, right? So it's something the Brewers have to monitor, but putting him in the DH role every day, and that's going to be the ultimate solution to keep him healthy, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If he all of a sudden goes to load and he goes to swing and the back just suddenly, something just tightens up, what are you going to say then? It happens. It happens, right? It's one of those things where I don't pay Christian Yelich right now to be my everyday DH. There is a Hoskins, Sanchez, right? You could go through the order there and find different guys. Contreras on his off days from catching. You go through the lineup and you find multiple guys who will have to fill that DH role. So what are you going to do with Yelich then? Just give him the day off? When those guys move to that DH role, you're going to give him the day off? Like, no. No, not going to happen. Not going to happen. This guy is going to play outfield. And you're just going to have to ride the wave. And if you burn him into the ground, you burn him into the ground, right? There's nothing more you can do. There's nothing more that you can do. It's one of those things where you risk it. You got to risk it. Risk it to get the biscuit, right? That's what they say. Risk it to get the biscuit. You got to risk it with this guy and just see what happens. That's all you can do. So Yelich returns. Like I said there, Adames 1 for 4 in this game. Looking down the lineup there, Churro 0 for 2. Frelick, he was 1 for 4 on the game. Sanchez 2 for 3. Good to see Gary Sanchez starting to hit the baseball a little bit here. The home run ball has been coming along for him there. Got that average 232. Nothing crazy. I'm not talking like this guy is going to be on the All-Star team. I'm not talking like this guy is, one of the better hitters in the league. What I'm saying is that this guy is starting to hit the baseball. And that's what we've been waiting for. That's what we signed him for. That's what we kept him on the roster for. When there was that option for Eric Case, that's what we kept him on the roster for. This is a guy that, Pat Murphy said it himself, is a scary bat in the lineup. And to see him starting to get going here, that's what you love to see. So Gary Sanchez 2 for 3. Oliver Dunn 0 for 2. Blake Perkins 0 for 4. In this game here, Blake has been struggling as of late. Hopefully it can get turned around here when they come back home to Milwaukee or to face the Cardinals. Joe Ross didn't pitch a bad game by any means, which sucks to say because in a game that he didn't pitch bad by any means, he took another loss. So looking at Joe Ross in this game, 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. 3 hits, 3 earned runs on this game here. Not a bad day. Not a bad day by Joe Ross over 5 innings. Brian Hudson does what Brian Hudson does. 2 innings, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk on the game there. Hudson's been, nothing short of great for the Brewers. Nothing short of great. He's got that ERA at .84 right now. This guy has been nothing but solid. And one of the bright spots in the bullpen this bullpen has had its issues. You look at it up next here. Yoel Payamps, a third of an inning there, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 home run given up there. That's a guy that, you look at last season, was your setup man. Now he's it's been a kind of pushing guys around and seeing where they end up, right? He's been in the closer's role. He's been in the setup role. He's been in the 7th inning role, right? He's been all over the place. So where is everybody fitting? I don't know at this point, right? We saw Trevor McGill close the game down. We've seen him close down a couple games now. Maybe that's turning into his role, but then who's the setup man? Because we haven't had a guy step forward to be that guy. Maybe Brian Hudson develops into being the 2-inning setup guy. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what the keys will be, but they got to figure it out. That bullpen has had its issues. And then recently called up here, finished out the game here, was Herget there. Kevin Herget. He pitched in this one, 2/3 of an inning there. Nothing across the board against him there. Got out of that inning for Payamps. And, solid debut for him, for the Brewers. Solid debut for him. And he, recently called up and delivers. That's what the Brewers needed, and he did it for them. But now it's one of those things. Like I said, the bullpen for the Brewers. Where are they going to find the setup guy? Who's going to be the closer? Who is going to be the 7th inning man? This bullpen right now, for a bullpen that started out the year very well, it's almost like it's finally starting to catch up with the Brewers. The taxing of them, the overusage, and it's not necessarily an excuse for it, right? You still want to have some solid outings, but these guys have been seen a lot to start the year, a lot more than what was expected out of them. And now they're pitching in extended roles in multiple games in a row, something that you haven't seen in a while. So does that affect them? Maybe, right? Maybe that's the reason, but who knows? Who knows what it is with this Brewers bullpen right now, but right now they are having troubles getting and holding leads. Holding leads. That's the biggest problem right now for the Brewers. They have leads in these games. The bullpen just struggles to hold them. And that's not excusing the starters. They're in the same boat with this one here, but the bullpen, getting down to some of the guys who are supposed to be more of your high leverage guys. Those guys are struggling to hold leads. So where are the Brewers going to turn here pretty soon? They might, and this is just me, they might need to look elsewhere for bullpen help. We've talked about starters before. They might still want to dip into that pool, right? But if they're not looking around or maybe talking about some of the guys down in the minors, we did our Fresh on the Farm report yesterday. If you missed that, take a listen to that, because there's a couple guys down there at that AAA level with some decent stuff here to start the year. Nothing crazy, right? But they have some solid prospect pitchers down there who potentially could give you some good innings up there at the big league level, like Anoli Paredes. 1.13 ERA in 14 appearances are in 16 innings pitched. He's got 25 strikeouts across it there. There's a couple more bullpen guys down there that potentially could come up and give you that boost that you need out of the bullpen there with some youth. So I don't know. I don't know what is going to be the keys. What are the keys? What are the keys to the Brewers in the bullpen this year? We're so used to the Brewers just throwing random guys out there and somehow finding success. Right now, they're having trouble with that. They're having trouble holding leads, and that's something that the Brewers need to address sooner rather than later here before it gets to the point where we can't trust the bullpen to hold on to a 1-2 run lead, right? That's something the Brewers have held their hats on for years now, and it's something that seems like this year is starting to slip them there. So we'll talk more about that moving on here. I want to talk about some of the team stats for the Brewers here, where they sit compared to the rest of the league right now. And I mean, just kind of dissect what's going on in Milwaukee right now. So with that, before we move on, I want to mention some sponsors of the show here first. Game Day Supply in Onalaska. Do you have a sports club or team? Are you looking for some sweet custom uniforms or apparel? Check out the awesome crew at Game Day Supply in Onalaska to help your team get the sweetest gear. Find them on Facebook at Game Day Supply or online at GameDaySupply.net. Also, your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty. Call Peggy, Sue, or Anna to find your dream home, or if you're looking to sell. Find them on Facebook at your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty, or stop in and see them at their location in Marshfield. Also, Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. If you've been injured recently, whether at work, whether it was on the basketball court, baseball field, softball field, whatever it was, and you need some physical therapy, stop in there and see Chad at Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. He will get you right. He'll get you back to work, back on the court, back on the field, whatever it is. He'll get you back there. Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. Marshfield Motor Speedway is located just 3 miles outside of Marshfield on County Road H. You got to get down to the track this summer here. Tons of family fun for all ages. Great food, great drinks, great atmosphere. Check out the schedule. Search them up. Find them on Facebook or online. Just search Marshfield Motor Speedways there. Otherwise, flip it over to my Facebook page there, Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trades. You will find the schedule there, and you can plan some great days down there at the track. Sports scene, sports cards and memorabilia located in the Marshfield Mall in Marshfield, Wisconsin. You got to get the sports scene there. If you're a hobbyist, right? I'm a hobbyist. I love I'm going to have some videos out there here pretty soon. I have tons of memorabilia behind me, tons of baseball cards, too many that I wouldn't even begin to know how to display any of them because they got a boatload of cards down there. But Al down there at Sports Scene, I've went down there. He's helped me out, got me some cards, got me, cases, whatever it is there. I've looked at a ton of jerseys down there. He's got jerseys. He's got model stock cars. He's got it all. You got to check him out there. Sports Scene in Marshfield, Wisconsin. And also Pittsfield Farm and Home Center. At the store, they serve you anything from hydraulic hoses to red roses. Stop in and see the awesome crew at Pittsfield Farm and Home Center this spring and summer here. You got to get down there. The greenhouse is open. They have tons of flowers down there, tons of hanging baskets, and tons of tools. You got to get, you got a summer project you're starting up. You might need the tools to get the job done right. Milwaukee is where it's at. I'm not sponsored by Milwaukee. That'd be awesome, right? But Milwaukee is where it's at for tools. I use them every day on the job. I use them at home here. That's what they got down there at Pittsfield Farm and Home. So you got to get yourself down to Pittsfield Farm and Home there in Pittsfield, Wisconsin. But with that, I want to keep it with the Brewers here. I want to look at some of the stats, some of the team stats right now, see where they kind of lay compared to the rest of the league right now. So looking at this Brewers team right now, in team stats, batting stats right now. So runs scored per game, they are sitting 9th in all of baseball right now. Total hits right now, they are sitting in 7th in the league. Doubles, 12th. Triples, 15th. Home runs, they're sitting 6th in the league right now. RBIs, they are sitting 8th. Balls are base on balls, right? Walks there. I was like, I don't know how to phrase this here. Walks, right? 6th in the league right now. Hit by pitches, 13th. Strikeouts, 20th. So not a good number there. 20th in strikeouts right now. 3rd in stolen bases. 20th in caught stealing. I mean, you steal a lot of bases, you're going to get caught a few times. That's where they're at. Team average sitting at 253. On base percentage, 4th in the league with 332. And slugging percentage, 414 right now. They are 5th in the league. So you look at those stats for the Brewers there and kind of dissecting them where everything lies. You look at some of the averages, right? We talked about the high average for the Brewers, where they are sitting near the top in the league. They're 7th in the league in average. And that comes a lot, like I said, from William Contreras. 331 right now. I believe he raised that up there. I just wanted to check that out. Or no, 329 right now for Contreras right now, but you're talking about a guy who has consistently hit the baseball around and used all facets of the field this year. I mean, from pulling the baseball to shooting it to right? He is one of the best for just sticking the hands out there and poking it in the right. So William Contreras leads the charge, but there isn't much that's holding between him and Bryce Terang right now. This guy's batting .316. He's got that average up after that big game there yesterday against the Royals. Gotta love what Bryce Terang's been doing this year. Christian Yelich, before he hit the injury list, I mean, he was swinging a hot bat, one of the hottest bats in baseball before he went out with an injury there. And then, I mean, you just look across the board there. Willie Adames, 257 right now. And looking down the line here, I mean, you have guys like Frelick, 250. Perkins was swinging a very hot bat. Now he's down to 248. Joey Ortiz, 268. You know, all these guys swinging pretty decent bats at the moment here for the Brewers. Home run totals, I mean, the Brewers, they're sitting towards the top in the league in home runs, sixth in the league in home runs right now. A lot of extra base hits, right? And, I mean, a lot of hits in total. It's just the only alarming number to me. And it's not the caught stealing. 8 caught stealing, 46 stolen bases there. So out of 54 attempts, you've been caught 8 times. Not bad. Not bad at all. I look at the strikeouts. 323, 22nd in the league. That's where my worry comes in. This team has a lot of chase. A lot of chase out there, a lot of swinging at bad pitches, and a lot of just being fooled, right? They've had a lot of games as of late where it just seems like they're guessing. They're going up there guessing, and I get it, right? You're going to go into games where you're guessing. Sometimes a pitcher's dealing, he's got some solid breaking stuff, and you're up there guessing because he's got a dominant fastball, and his breaking stuff is, I mean, he throws a dominant changeup, right? It's on the opposite edge of the plate there. So now you have to respect the fastball, but you also have to be ready for the changeup, and he's surprising you with pitches. I get the guessing game of it, but it just, you know, it seems like even in first pitch counts, right, or even in a 2-0 count, this Brewers team is still guessing. Sometimes it seems like it's like a struggle to get the bat off shoulder and take a hack. Like, it's just, I don't know, watching some of these strikeouts for the Brewers, if it's not a chase, it almost seems like it's relatively the Brewers just getting fooled by pitches. And it's not something that, you know, you want to hang your hat on. If you are Milwaukee, you need to address that problem if you are the hitting coaches and say, hey, you know, we need to work harder at this, or we need to do this a little bit better, or we need to study up film on this guy a little bit better and get you guys prepared for whatever this guy's going to throw. It's not like we're getting surprised by pitchers right now, right? The book's open on most of these guys. It's not like it's opening day. You know, it's not like it's the first time that these guys have ever appeared in a major league baseball game. Most of the pitchers the Brewers have faced, we've seen them before. The book's open, right? The Dodgers, I mean, you talk about, you know, a team studying up on a guy and being able to exploit him. The Dodgers did it to Corbin Burnes. When Burnes was one of the better pitchers in baseball, the Dodgers figured him out, and Burnes was, I mean, unreliable against the Dodgers. How did they do that? They studied him. They understood, hey, in this count, there's a pretty good chance he's coming with this. Or if he's trying to wipe you out with a strikeout, this is what he's coming with. You know, some of those kind of things. So is it all on the hitters, or is it on those hitting coaches, right? I have never liked the hitting coaches in Milwaukee. I haven't. There's 2 of them. I swear we have 2 hitting coaches and they're worse than one, right? Because I have never understood and been able to comprehend the way that the style that they go with and working with some of these guys. Prime example is Joey Wiemer, right? He came up to the league and that guy was all over the place. That bat was all over the place. It seemed like something where if you just calm him down and, you know, fix the hands a little bit, it changes him. Is it easy to do in season? No. But why are we wasting our time at big league level if it's not a quick fix, right? Why are these hitting coaches throughout our system not fixing a guy like that on his way up? Because, you know, watching him swing, you knew it was going to be a struggle, right? I mean, just the constant hand movement and everything else like that was just a struggle to watch. So, I mean, it doesn't rely some on the hitting coaches there, getting guys ready and getting good scouting reports. Yeah. Yeah, that could be. That could very well be, and that's leading to the higher strikeout rates and the struggles at the plate. That could very well be in there. So that's just something, the alarming thing for me right now is looking at that strikeouts for the Brewers there with 323 sitting 22nd in the league. Flipping script, though, I want to look over at the pitching stats for the Brewers. So in wins, I mean, 7th in wins, 7th in losses right now. Nothing crazy there. ERA, they're 17th, a 4.02 ERA. The ERA is a little bit high there for the Brewers right now. Looking at the innings pitched right now, 311, 24th in the league. I mean, nothing crazy there. They pitched 311 innings. Looking at the hits given up by the Brewers, 285 on the season so far. That's good for 15th in the league. Earned runs, 139. That's good for 17th in the league right now. Runs against them there, 152, 14th in the league. Home runs given up, 22nd in the league with 41. 41 home runs given up. Not a lot of hits. I mean, you're sitting middle of the pack there in hits, but a lot of home runs. The next number that I'm going to give you is a big reason why a lot of those runs score. Walks. 122 walks on the year. 20th in the league. You walk a couple guys, you give up a bomb, that's what leads to a struggle. You look at Joe Ross's outing, you look at some of these other pitchers' outings, walks are a problem. And you look at the Brewers there, 122 there, 20th in the league, and then 22nd in home runs. That's a bad combo right there. Strikeouts, 279, they're 27th in the league there. And, I mean, hit by pitches, 16. They are 17th in the league. I mean, Freddie's got one of those there, right? I mean, we got to mention that one there, right? I mean, I don't know. You look at the pitching for the Brewers right now, looking at ERAs, there isn't really a solid one. Outside of, okay, I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry for that. I shouldn't say that. Bryce Wilson, 240 there in the starting role, or not, 10 games. He started 4 of them. He's got a 2.40 ERA. So nothing to shake your head at there. I mean, that's solid work out of Bryce Wilson. Brian Hudson, 0.93 ERA, 13 games, 19 and a third innings pitched, 9 hits, 2 earned runs there for him. I mean, just solid across the board. 1 home run, 5 walks, 21 strikeouts. Brian Hudson has been nothing but fantastic. Hobie Milner, 2.20 ERA there in 17 games pitched, 16 and a third inning, 13 hits, 4 earned runs, 6 runs in total there, 4 walks to home run ball, though. 3 home runs given up for Hobie there. 17 strikeouts for Milner. And then, you look down the line here, and some of your guys that you expected to be some of your better pitchers to start the year. Outside, Jacob Junis was a loss, right, early on. Now he's on the 60-day IL right now, so we don't know when Junis will even be back. So looking down the line, Trevor McGill. 1.04 ERA, 8 appearances there, 8 and 2/3 innings, and he has 8 strikeouts on the season so far there. So averaging about a strikeout an inning there. Solid work out of him. A lot of guys with 3 ERAs right now, but you just look down the line there, the home run balls. You just look down the line of the home run balls given up. Freddie, 4. Colin Ray, 5. 3 for Joe Ross. 4 for Bryce Wilson. 5 for Vieira. DL Hall had given up 4. 3 for Hobie Milner there. 5 home runs given up by Tobias Myers. And then a lot of guys down there with 1 home run apiece given up. You look at the walks, you look at the home runs, you say to yourself, here is where my struggle's coming with the Brewers right now. Bad combo all the way around. You got to limit the walks. And you got to limit the home runs given up there. Not a huge amount, right? But it's still a number and a statistical ranking that you're sitting at the bottom of. And it needs to be corrected because, you look at injuries. You look at injuries to this Brewers team, and yes, they have been bit by the injury bug, and it has sucked. Look at Garrett Mitchell. This guy is destined to most likely be the leadoff guy to start the year. He goes down with an injury right away. Christian Yelich with the back. Devin Williams with the back. Wade Miley, most likely Tommy Johns. I still think Tommy John's there. with Wade Miley. Jacob Junis on his way, slowly working his way back from injury. He gets hit by a fly ball there in the outfield. So you just look at some of the injuries for the Brewers. DL Hall now on the injured list. All throughout the Brewers team is just injury after injury. And then you add on the Brandon Woodruff one. That's, last year. But you just add that little bit to the fire there, and this is a team that needs help in the pitching department, not just in the starting role. I know everybody looks at the starting roles and says that we need help there. I'm looking at the bullpen. I'm saying to myself right now, this bullpen is not complete. Now, when you get Devin Williams back, that does help a boatload there, right? It takes pressure off of a lot of guys. But at the same time, Williams is an inning. He's a one-inning guy. You got to get it to him. Is this Brewers team good enough to get it to him, right? We just talked about the struggle of some of these guys here, like Payamps and like Paguero at times here, and, others in this bullpen out there. Can they get the game to Devin Williams when he hopefully comes back there in a few short months? That's going to be the big thing I watch out for. That's the big thing I watch out for right now is bullpen and starting pitching help. Right now, you look at the positions and position-wise for the Brewers, they have very good, they have depth at positions. They have good pieces at positions. And I feel like the lineup for the first time in years, like we've talked about, is actually a pretty good lineup. A pretty good and scary lineup when they're hitting the baseball right? And they have very good pieces in there. They arguably have the best catcher in the NL, and if not just the NL, in baseball, in William Contreras. They have one of, or if not the best in the NL Central at second base, Bryce Terang right now. When Christian Yelich was healthy and he was hitting the ball right, you had a Christian Yelich who was on the tear, and you have Rhys Hoskins, who I don't know why. I tell you what, I have not lost faith in Rhys Hoskins. This guy is going to get hot. This guy's going to get hot at some point this year. And it's just going to be a matter of if the Brewers keep doing this stupid thing where we keep rotating him out. This is Rhys Hoskins' prove-it year. Let him prove it. This is a guy that I want in the lineup every single day, whether at first base, whether in the DH role. I want Hoskins in there. I don't care right now that he's batting a little bit lower. This is a guy who needs the at-bats, right? He's in a prove-it year, and he wants to prove it. Put him out there and let him do it. This guy has still got a lot of home runs in that bat. This guy has still got a lot of hits and RBIs in that bat. Throw him out there every single day in the DH role or at first base and let it roll. Just let it roll. And that's not to mention, you look outside of Rhys Hoskins there, and you look at a guy like Willy Adames, who has been hitting the ball very well this year, looks a little bit like that 2021 Willy Adames that we remember. And if he gets going, this lineup gets dangerous. You're talking about a lineup where you're going to potentially have Willy Adames batting in. You just think of your hypothetical lineup right now, right? You have Bryce Terang in the leadoff spot. That's where I keep him. You have William Contreras in that 2-hole. You have Christian Yelich in the 3. You have Rhys Hoskins in the 4. And you have Willy Adames in the 5. That is a solid top of your lineup right now. Right now, that is a solid top of your lineup. That's a dangerous top of the lineup. And if you want to, you can interchange Yelich and Contreras. You can move Contreras back to 3, for more of an RBI position kind of guy. But that's a solid top of the lineup. And then behind that, you have the likes of Frelick. You have the likes of, whoever's playing third that day, right? Joey Ortiz has been swinging the bat very well this year. So you put Joey Ortiz, slot him in there. Most likely Jackson Churro. And you have Blake Perkins. And then when Mitchell comes back, maybe he slots in there for Churro, because Churro has struggled to start this year. I like Churro. I like Churro where he's at, being up at the big league level. I know they have to, it's one of those things where you got to do it. We gave him the big contract. But when Mitchell comes back, if you want Churro to get every day at bats, send him down to the minors, let him do it. The Orioles did it with Jackson Holliday. He struggled, they sent him down. Maybe that's something they have to do with Jackson Churro to get him right again and then get him back up. Because as of right now, when Mitchell comes back, if he's hitting the baseball, I want him in there. And if Perkins is still hitting the baseball, I want Perkins out there. And that slots out Jackson Sherrill of a spot. Because Sal Frelick, for as much as people hate Sal Frelick in the soft contact, this guy puts the ball in play. And if he's hitting right, he's a very good hitter. A very good placement hitter who just pokes the ball the other way. Doesn't try to do too much, just pokes the ball the other way. So the Brewers, they got to get healthy. And this team is, this isn't like a do or die moment for the Brewers in the year right now, but this could be a turnaround point. This could be a turning point in the year to go one of two ways. So hopefully, we got a series with the Cardinals coming up over the weekend here, starting tonight. There will be Tobias Myers taking on Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray has been phenomenal this year, 4-1 with a .89 ERA. Tobias Myers 0-2 with a 6.23 ERA there. The Brewers, they've had a little bit of success against Sonny Gray in the past. Adames, he's got a 500 average there. Looking at line there, Blake Perkins, 333. Sanchez, 1,000. 667 out of Terang there. So we've had some success against Sonny Gray there. It's going to be a test for the Brewers here against Cardinals. This is not a great Cardinals team, but it's still a team that if you take them lightly, they can beat you. And they can beat you multiple ways. Brewers got to find a way over the weekend here. They have to find a way over the weekend to be able to take care of business on their home field here at American Family Field. So good stuff there coming up tonight. That'll be a 6:40 start there, Bally Sports, Wisconsin. Otherwise, you can find it on WTMJ 620, the Brewers radio network there. But with that, that's about all I got for today. That's about all I want to talk about. We got a lot into the Brewers. That's the big topic right now is the Brew Crew. And I told you I'd get into the team stats yesterday. I didn't have time. Today, we had to get into it here. So with that, thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday. But until I talk to you guys again tomorrow, this has been Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow. But until then, deuces.
Yeah, oh my Lord, watch me sway. Darkness falls and we all pray, hoping for the light of day. Down to the river, I have held the devil's hand, felt the weight of my own sin, burdened by the heart of man. Down to the river, down to the river.